Hey guys, we're back. I'm Kaylee. Last week we talked about open and honest conversations, and this week we are going to talk about being approachable. So Tiff is going to take it from there.
Yeah, we are really going to talk about getting the facts, starting early, talking often. And I think what's really important to know is that whether you are a youth or an adult in your community, you can be empowered to be approachable. And so we're going to share some buzzworthy tidbits with you.
Yep. All right, so the first tidbit is that we're going to share is getting the facts and just knowing the difference between a healthy relationship, unhealthy, and abusive relationship. So first, we're going to talk about a healthy relationship, which, green light.
Green light.
So some characteristics of a healthy relationship are communicating, being respectful, trusting, honest, being equal, and just enjoying personal time, because you want to go out and have fun with your friends, so does them, so do they, all that. And also another big part is just safety, feeling safe and everything like that. So next topic we're going to talk about is unhealthy.
Yellow, use caution.
In an unhealthy relationship, some characteristics are that you're not communicating, being disrespectful, not trusting, dishonest, trying to take control. So then our next topic here is an abusive relationship.
And real quick, too, to add on to yellow one that's not on there is there's a lack of equality. It's an unbalanced relationship, too. It's starting to get to that. And so then that is going to transition into like red light or abusive relationships. And just remember, too, that it's not necessarily like a checklist, like, yep, this is here, yep, this is here, yep, this is here, this is. It may look different for everybody. On their different relationships. But so anyways, abusive relationships, it could be where there is aggressive communication going on, verbal, nonverbal. It can be highly disrespectful, whether that's feelings, thoughts, put downs, opinions. There's that possessiveness, that isolation, the manipulation. There is physical hurt of some sort, whether that's hitting, kicking, whatever. There is shifting of blame and focus from that person onto the other partner. That control or isolation that I was talking about, and it's a vicious cycle of power and control in that aspect of things. And then just pressure or force that could be sexually or non-sexually related. And I think what I really want to highlight too is that there's 6 types of abuse. It is not just physical. There is also emotional abuse and verbal abuse, psychological abuse. That's all another one.
Sexual abuse.
Yep. So that can be sexual assault, that can be rape, that can be that whole list and going on. And we'll kind of highlight what some of these different things are too. We just kind of want to give you like the broad range. Financial abuse. So that control, hacking into passwords on bank accounts, holding your paycheck, that kind of stuff.
Yep. Digital.
And then I think the last one too then is also understanding stalking. Can be also a red light, abusive type of relationship.
Yep, absolutely. So then to go into further on that, we're going to discuss some common warning signs. There is a top 3, and the top 3 are possessiveness, jealousy, manipulation, and isolation. And so some of the things to go along with that are, if they're making false accusations, checking your cell phones. And again, this goes back to the digital abuse where they're checking your cell phones, their emails, knowing your passwords on everything. They're reading over your shoulder, like, who are you talking to? Who are you this?
Controlling what you wear or what you do or how you do it is another one.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Belittling you, that is common. Maybe having some erratic mood swings and stuff too. So
I think it's just definitely being aware, whether you're a youth or adult, and especially an adult, like if you're a parent, caregiver, teacher, some other individual that's really seeing youth, being aware of those things too and trying to figure out how to have those open and guided conversations. And then the another bullet when it comes to getting the facts is just remembering the statistics. We shared the top 5 last week. Be on the lookout for some additional stats that we will share throughout the rest of the month.
And like Tiff said, just be aware of the warning signs that we mentioned. So
all right. The next thing is to be askable. So making sure you're having open communication, being available.
Yes.
encouraging individuals to seek out and help information. And you had a really good tip, like when we were talking about this earlier too. Like if somebody didn't know the information.
Yeah, please ask. Please go and, just say that, hey, I'd love to help, but I don't have the correct information. Please let me guide you to the direct person. So.
And it's okay to admit that you don't know the answers.
Yes, absolutely.
Right? And also don't rely on Google for everything. Seek out accurate information.
Yes. Yep.
And then learning how and what to say is also important. There is no necessarily like perfect way to say something, but just showing that you genuinely care and follow through. If you're not available at that time, be like, you know what, this isn't going to work for me. Why don't we go ahead and meet up when whatever. Don't do first thing in the morning when it's a hot mess of trying to get out the door to go to school or go to work. But find time that's available. Just make sure you follow through on whatever that is.
Yep, absolutely. So then on to our next bullet point is building bridges. This goes to giving support. Just having that conversation with them and being like, hey, I'm here for you if you need me. Again, like if you don't know the correct information, feel free to tell them that. Just be like, hey, we're going to reach out to somebody else and they are, listen intently, just keeping an open mind. Just really giving that support because sometimes they don't have that and it's really important to have that support.
I think one of my favorite parts of this one too, of like just building those bridges, whether it's youth to youth, youth to adult, is using teachable moments. So using TV, movies, talking, you right now is a big thing that's on TV and stuff. And so like having those conversations about stalking, a lot of the abusive relationships, kind of warning signs that we talked about, check. Sorry, Joe. But yeah, so just using whatever that is. Music, we had a conversation about, like listening to the lyrics.
Yep.
What are those qualities that look like for a healthy relationship? What are some different warning signs that you hear? Those kinds of things. And then just talking.
Yes. Yep.
Sharing these tidbits with your kids, with your students, with your friends, regardless of youth or adults.
Finding that favorite person that you can talk to, if it's a teacher, if it's a community member, something like that, or just a youth, just having that person that you feel comfortable and you can talk with. So.
Yeah. If sometimes it might not be that parent or caregiver. So like who is that number one approachable adult that is in that youth's life? And if you are that adult, figure out how you can be.
Yep.
And then obviously this all wraps into continuing to learn how to communicate, learning how to ask an expert to learn more for yourself, to grow, some professional development, those kinds of things. And
please take care of yourself. It's not just hard on who's ever going through this. You're going through it as well if you're looking to help them and everything. So please take care of yourself as well.
And then we're actually going to be highlighting Respect Week was highlighted that second week of February.
Yes.
And so remember some of those different things that we talked about with self-care, because it's kind of like on an airplane. You can't help others until you help put some oxygen on you first. Same thing when it comes to being just that supportive individual, youth or adult.
Yep. And again, seek out those resources. If you feel you're not comfortable talking to them with the whole thing, please seek out those resources and get that person that helps. So, and you as well.
And I think just an overall reminder is that to help end dating violence, it starts with one thing: a conversation. So do your best to talk to someone today.